welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the very last top 5 video that I am doing here on my channel with my friend Valerie from Blush Diaries. So if you guys didn't know, if you are new to my channel and this is the first video you've ever watched, I did an entire series with my friend Valerie where we went through our top 5 favorites for pretty much every single category of makeup. So everything from foundation to now brushes that I'm doing today. We went through everything. So without further ado, let's hop into brushes, shall we? So as you can see behind me, I have quite a few makeup brushes, and that's putting it lightly because this is not all that I have. I actually have a ton more that I have like stashed away in my makeup collection that I don't use quite as often as those. So narrowing it down to 5 was like ridiculously hard. So in my mind I had to think, like, if something happened to my brushes, which 5 would I go out and immediately repurchase, like, without question? And once I put it that way, I was like, okay, I got this. So the very first thing that I thought of is the Marc Jacobs, the bronzing brush. I use this every single day, and I will let you know that this is very expensive. I think this was like an $80 brush, I think. It's ridiculous. It's by the brand Marc Jacobs, so it's like a prestige brush, but I have not been able to find a dupe for this, and I found some that are very close that work kind of similarly. But this brush is like a dome-shaped brush, as you can see. It domes up into like a very perfectly circular shape, and it's dense but not stiff. So it really applies your bronzer beautifully. And any kind of bronzer, cream bronzer, powder bronzer, it's just amazing. And it's big enough to where you can really cover a lot of face area in just a couple of swipes. I like to bring it down to my neck and my décolleté, and this just makes it so incredibly easy. So yes, it's quite pricey, but the softness of the bristles and the perfect density is just like, it's well worth the price, I think. So this would probably be one of the first things that I would go out and repurchase. This face brush looks similar, but it's not. It's different. 2 different brushes. So this is the Sephora Pro All Over Powder Brush number 61. This brush I picked up maybe 2 years ago, and it has changed my like powder application for the better, and I don't think I can ever not have it. In fact, the other day I washed my brushes, and by the time I was ready to use them, they weren't dry yet. So I thought I was all ingenious, and I got my hair dryer out and I was like blow drying it, and I burnt the bristles on it. And I definitely need to get a new one because that makes it, like, you know, not as good. But aside from the burnt melted bristles, this brush, it's huge. So you can see it's almost the same size as the bronzing brush, and the bristles are so soft and so just like flexible but stiff. So it's also that perfect blend of like stiffness yet not stiff. Gosh, I can't think of a better word for it, but you know exactly what I mean. And it's just such a luxurious product. You would think that this was made by, you know, Marc Jacobs, for example, but it's not. It's Sephora brand, and this makes applying your powder so easy. It's dense enough to where you can really pack on the color and apply like a powder foundation, but it's light enough to where you can use just like a setting powder and it does the same thing. So I love this brush so much. I need to go buy a new one because I don't know how I'm gonna do my makeup without this, with burnt one. Next, I have 2 eye brushes to talk to you about. So the first one is the Sephora Pro Smudge number 11 brush. So the same line as my face brush that I just talked about, but this is an eye smudge brush. So I'm somebody who loves pencil eyeliner. I've worn pencil eyeliner since I was like a senior in high school, and I used to smudge it out with Q-tips, which work, but then you're going through Q-tips like very quickly, and it's kind of wasteful. So when I found out about a smudge brush, I was like, what? Are you kidding me? So I picked this up maybe a year and a half ago, and it has changed my eyeliner game, like, again, for the better. So this brush is really stubby. It's probably 1/4 of an inch tall, but it's really dense and really kind of like fat and flat. So what it does is, or how I use it, is when I put my pencil eyeliner on, before it dries, I'll go in with this and I'll just kind of wipe it over the pencil eyeliner, and it smudges it out to the point where it looks kind of diffused and smoky, and I do it pretty much every day. It makes your pencil line less harsh. It makes it to where you can kind of mess up and you just buff it out and it fixes it and it doesn't look quite as like, you know, oh my gosh, I messed up my eyeliner. You can also use this to apply eyeshadow like on your lower lash line. I used it for that as well. And I just love it so much. I love it, love it. I have another version that's also by the Sephora brand, but it's like their less prestige line, and it works just as well. You don't have to get this specific brand. Just a smudge brush is like a game changer for eyeliner. Next brush I have is the MAC 217 blender brush. So this one, I have not been able to find a duplicate for it. So MAC brushes are very pricey. This I think was like $30, which is crazy for a tiny brush that's, you know, the size of my pinky nail. But this is a game changer. I feel like I keep saying that, but a game changer when it comes to doing your eye makeup. So if you're looking for a blending brush that's not super fluffy and not super dense, this is like the perfect happy median. It's right in the middle. So it is like the best brush for blending out your eyeshadow, applying a crease color, and it does everything. If I could only have one eyeshadow brush to do my entire eye look, I would pick the MAC 217. Something that's quite similar is the Sigma E25 brush, but the bristles, you could tell the difference. They're not as like luxurious feeling, and the bristles shed on the Sigma brush. This one, they don't shed, and they're just so well put together. They're handmade brushes, so I have a couple of these, and I find myself continuously washing them because I use them every single day. Okay, last brush is not quite a brush, but it falls into this category. This is my beauty blender. So you guys have seen me use this before, talk about it before. Everybody knows what a beauty blender is, but I cannot do my foundation without this right here. If I didn't have a beauty blender, I would probably only wear powder foundation, because this is such a like, I was gonna say game changer, but I don't want to say that again because I keep saying that, but this truly is a game changer when it comes to applying your foundation. So whether it's a water-based, really liquid foundation or a cream thick foundation, this really makes it foolproof to apply. So you have to dampen it. You can use it dry, but I like to use it damp. And I put the foundation on the back of my hand and I just like pat it on. In fact, I made an entire video all about how to use a beauty blender, so I'll link that down below if you want to check it out. But basically this diffuses your foundation, it makes it look airbrushed, it blends your concealer out. You can even use it to touch up your eye makeup line, so if ever I'm doing crazy eye makeup and it drops down and gets onto my cheeks after I've already applied foundation, I can use this to clean it up. It cleans up my lipstick lines. It is just like a magic little sponge, and you cannot duplicate it. They have like Real Techniques has a brush or a sponge that's quite similar. There's a ton of knockoff brands, but they do not even come close to the density, the thickness, and the texture of the Beauty Blender sponge. So I know it seems crazy. It's a $20 sponge, but I promise you it is so entirely worth it. Once you use it, you're going to be like, holy cow, how did I ever do my makeup without this? Alright guys, well those are my top 5 makeup brushes. Make sure you check out Valerie's top 5. I will link her video down below so that you can see what her top 5 favorite brushes are. And thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you in my next video. Bye guys.